Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak. So here on Honest J. Nowak, let's go ahead and get on to some serious stuff. I'm going to be talking about the internet. As serious as that is, that's something I could have touched up on a while ago. But the fact is that, well, lots of other things have come about, and I can say for sure that they are checked off the list, and I might not have much else left to say about any of those. But with more than 140, 150 episodes that I've pretty much got on the work, pretty much, I could say for sure that the internet is going to be one interesting subject that I still want to go ahead and touch up on. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. For more than 25 years, we've had ourselves not only one of the biggest inventions in history, but it was a lot more than that. It was another way for us to connect. It was another way for us to interact with others. It was another way for us to experience marketing in a whole new way. It was another way of simply getting to know about what could be out there and what could be good or bad, or even ugly. But of course, aside from the many qualities and amenities that the internet itself has that we like to see every single day, we always have something to talk about. Of course, many people out there happen to, well, disagree with the facts that many things about the internet can, in fact, be trustworthy. But the reason I'm actually bringing that up right now is because of the fact that, well, in all honesties, the internet should not be something you should take for granted. Neither should life itself. But that's probably another topic for another time. So, in regards to how people think of the internet as being just a large scale of distrust and deception and some pretty horrible ways of simply scamming you and getting you to do something incredibly stupid. The real thing is that the big picture here is that the internet itself is really not like that. It's the kind of people that happen to interact and upload something to the internet. The internet itself is not something that you should try and go ahead and put the blame on, put the finger towards, but for real, though, many people out there who don't even realize how useful it is, they should get to know about it right away. And the fact is that lots of people out there who happen to use it today, they're mostly doing it for school projects, they're mostly doing it for some other things in particular, but in my case, it has been a really handy way of getting myself through in my career. My career based on entrepreneurship. And it's been going for 15 years now. The fact that the business itself, Kaiju Force Neo, has been 15 years old and counting, it's one thing, but the way I see it, the internet has really fueled my existence. It's really become the major advertisement when it comes to getting my business promoted and out there so the public eye can see it and hopefully people will get to know about it. So in reality, I feel like that people out there who happen to know about my channel, who happen to know about any of my social media accounts that are relative to it, but the big thing about it is that Kaiju Force Neo is a business that is actually bent on becoming the next best thing to Google. Its own internet browser, its own search engine, its own anything in particular. I do hope to have Kaiju Force Neo become the super big corporation out there that could rival Google at this point. And the fact is, I've made some pretty good progress so far. More than 30,000 people on Twitter have managed to, well, follow me to this particular land that they might think it's a fantasy, but no. The reality is that that's what it is. It's been a business of mine that I've had for a decade and a half, and it'll continue to stick around until the end of time. Of course, Google, Tesla, Target, Pepsi, many of these other companies out there that happen to be high-end entrepreneurs and billion-dollar makers out there, they certainly are doing whatever they can to keep the public interested in their products and the like. But as for Kaiju Force Neo, I still have yet to progress through to merchandising and all that good stuff that can help promote my business even further. Because, believe it or not, I've really been struggling on finding a good logo to settle on. There have been tons of them that I went through over the last 15 years, but I've never truly found a good one that I could settle on with for the rest of my life. Of course, I do want to have the business become a great phenomenon throughout this entire century and probably even this whole millennium. I mean, maybe by the time I'm dead, I could have my brain authenticated into a cybernetic machine of some sort. Or maybe then my conscious could become digital and then be uploaded to the cloud. As in the cloud that can really progress through everywhere around the world and maybe even around the rest of the entire universe. But that may not seem very realistic at the moment. So I'd have to wait the next century to pretty much put that whole thing together. But until that happens, I feel like that with enough time and enough patience in my life, I should really be able to pretty much get my fanship back. My trustworthiness depends on this whole thing. And now I feel like that I'm just going a little overboard at this point, but that's just kind of how it is. That's just how the game pretty much works. The game of life, really. And I'm not talking about the game of life as in the board game, I'm talking about life itself. So now, if you want to see more go down on my channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.